to you, friends and neighbors. Like always, it's me, it's old WB, and I got something special for you this evening. As I'm recording this, in a couple days will be Brother Glen's birthday. As you're watching this, today is Brother Glen's birthday, September the 9th. And this video show right here was recorded back on April the 5th of 2021. And like a lot of video shows I've recorded, I've not put some of them out there. And it just goes back to the time I was dealing with a lot, trying to figure out my railroad life, just everything just going on, just a lot of things that kind of been turned upside down, and I just didn't have the will, I guess you'd say, to try and put a lot of this stuff out, because for one, the video shows are a lot harder than the podcasts. And I've done periodic podcasts and stuff during this time, but the video shows, man, like, I finally kind of figured out how to do them right, but when it comes to syncing them up, but at the time it was really tough, me trying to drag stuff around, and just with my neck and my back and stuff like that kills me, just staring at a screen that long. And so a lot of my video shows I didn't put out, and when I recorded this show, Glen had been diagnosed with cancer, but at the time we didn't really know what was kind of going to happen or how it was going to unfold. He was optimistic. I know he was going to UK at the time, doing treatment and stuff, so I was hopeful, maybe they could get it. But as time went on, I think he started to kind of come to the realization that it wasn't looking the best, and he mentioned the video show that you're about to watch to me, and he said, WB, he said, I know I'm a few in line anyway, he said, but if you do get around to mine, he said, maybe sit on it for a while. He said there's going to come a day that things are going to be different for my family, for Mary and Stephanie, and for friends, and just everybody that knew him and loved him, and said, this is something that nobody's ever seen. You have something nobody's ever seen or heard. He's like, there may come a day where this video show that you got of mine might give folks some comfort or bring a smile to their face or something. So when Glen passed away, I had talked to Stephanie and Mary after the services and stuff, and kind of let them know that I had this, and it's been on my mind a lot. And I thought, you know what, this is the first birthday of Glen's that they're not going to have him, so I thought maybe this might be something that might give them some, like I said, bring a smile to their hearts, just seeing him play and talk and carry on with me and cut up with me, and I never watched it after we recorded it until today, and it's been tough, but it's also been good to see my brother again, to see him, because I've not done a lot of video over the years. Most of the stuff I've done is audio and pictures, so to be able to have an hour plus of Glen just being Glen, it does, it means the world to me. And it means the world to me that you all can experience it. It's not just the family and the folks that knew Glen personally, but for those of you that have heard him over the years on my radio show, I think it's special for everybody. So if you knew Glen or were a fan of Glen or whatever, the only thing I do ask is to share it on your social medias, or text a buddy that you might think might appreciate it, because it's special. It's special, and I was blessed to be able to document a small portion of his life, because Glen really did mean a lot to me, and I know I meant a lot to him, and the feeling was mutual. But I sure hope you all enjoy this, and just don't take anything for granted, not 1 second. If you got family that's, if everyone you love, for the most part, is doing good and stuff. Just don't take that for granted. I've not done a podcast in over, well, it was late last year. And Fallon's dad got diagnosed with cancer back in October, and our world's kind of got turned upside down. My kids have a hard time with it. Naturally, she has a hard time with it. It's just hard seeing someone go through that. And I know it was hard for Mary and Stephanie to watch Glenn go through something very similar to what Fallon's dad's going through. But it meant the world to me a few days before he passed. I hadn't talked to him in a little while. Like I said, we've just had so much going on. I mean, it ain't an excuse, but I hadn't talked to him in a little bit. And Mary messaged me and said that he wasn't doing good. And she said they had talked about it, and she wanted me to maybe say a few words. She had a few songs she wanted played, so I was able to, at his wake, whatever you want to call it, I was able to say a few words about my brother, and that meant a lot to me. But when she reached out to me, I asked her if I could come see him, and I was able to go see him. And he was really frail, really weak, couldn't hardly talk real great, but when I walked in there, he did light up, and we had a good little conversation, and he was kind of going in and out, kind of falling asleep, and I said, brother, let me let you get some rest, I said, you let Mary know when you get up, and if you are feeling like company, I'll come back to see you. And he said, you ain't got to go. I said, brother, I said, just get you some rest. You need it. That's the most important thing, is for you to get some rest and try to get you some strength. I said, but I'll come back. If you feel like it, I'll come back and see you. And that's the last time I seen him. A couple days later, he passed away. And but I'm so thankful for that last visit that we got. Because even though he was so frail and stuff, it was Glenn. It was talking to Glenn. It was. It really was. And thank you, Mary, for allowing me to do that. It really did mean the world to me. But I ain't going to ramble on any longer. Just know that this show right here, the reason you're hearing it now is because it's what Glenn wanted. He told me that when I thought folks needed to hear him or see him again, or maybe see something they had never seen, to put it out there. And today's his birthday, so what better time than now. But I appreciate you, Brother Glenn, I really do. Thank you for always believing in me and supporting all my crazy ideas. And as long as I live, I'll do everything that I can to honor you. I love you, brother. Hope y'all enjoy this show.
Warning, this radio show contains strong language, excessive use of alcohol and tobacco products, a whole lot of bullshitting and nudity. We here at WBWalker.com are not responsible for any lewd behavior, recklessness, illegal acts, or unwanted pregnancies directly caused by listening to this radio show. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, friends, I just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules here once again to join me here in Dingess for another mighty fine episode here of the Old Soul Video Show. Now, when it comes to musicians that their music been played more than anybody on the video shows and the radio shows, hands down, fella right here, Brother Glen Simpson, his music been played more than anybody. When I first reached out to him, I guess it's probably Glen, about 2012, something like that. When I first started doing my radio show, I reached out to Glen because we worked together on the railroad, and I knew Glen played bluegrass music and stuff, and I wanted some instrumental music to kind of play behind me talking and stuff, so I reached out to Glen. He gave me a CD, and a lot of the songs are the same songs I've been using for the past almost 9 years now. Don't seem like that long, does it, Glen? Been a while.
Stood the test of time.
Yeah, they've done pretty good for us. But it means the world to me to have Glen here with me this evening. Like I said, he means the world to me. The music you hear on the intro of the video show, that's Glen. A little song called Sycamore he does. And just like I said, friends, it means the world to me to have a brother of mine over here in Dingess to play some music for us. So, what are you thinking on there first, Glen?
I'm gonna do a fairly new one called Fresh Dirt on the Hillside.
Sounds good to me.
And thank you for having me. I mean, you mean the world to me too, and I've enjoyed our time, and I've got to hear some great music here.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've been blessed with. It's been able to have good people and good music and stuff around me. So I appreciate you being on this ride with me. Like we talked a little bit before, I'm sure that when I asked you you said all you hope that I've done something good with it, and there's folks all over the world that's got to hear you picking stuff. So I hope it's in some way, been something that you've enjoyed. So I know I've enjoyed having you with me.
Ready?
Go.
I was on the Mountain Parkway, MMT on the radio, single wides and double wides, flying right on by. I wondered about the people that lives in these houses, all the stories they can tell, both truth and lies. I done drew a blank, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
We're going to have to start it over.
That's fine, brother.
All right, you ready?
Let's rock and roll.
I was on the Mountain Parkway, MMT on the radio, single wides and double wides, we're flying right on by. I wondered about the people that lives in these houses, all the stories they can tell, both truth and lies. I can't get that.
That's fine. You want to go to another one and try to come back to that one, or?
Yeah, I'll have to go over that one.
Okay.
Let's just start with one that I know the words to.
That's fine. I was going to tell you too, just however you want to do it. If there's any that you do struggle with or whatever, we could just do. We could also do 3 sets of 3. That way, you know what I mean. Just whatever you want to do. Here, I'm going to push this button. Push it again. That way, it gives us 30 more minutes. That way, we got more time. Take your time. You know me. If I had $1 for every time I've sat out here and had something simple to say, doing a podcast and keep screwing up. You have to
Yeah.
do it over and over and over.
I know about it.
It just takes time.
All right, I'm gonna start out with an old one. I wrote this one many years ago. I rode up from West Virginia. I was looking for fortune and fame, but the only thing that I found was trouble. Oh, everyone there was the same. They say you're nothing but a mountaineer, and we don't care for your kind. They only looked at my appearance. They never looked into mine. It's not because you're from the north, not because you're city-made. It's not because you don't like me, not the impressions that the ones before me made. I found me a job in a hurry. I was making $5 an hour, but the things I had to put up with at the factory, it made all my money turn sour. It's not because you're from the north, not because you're city-made. It's not because you don't like me, not the impressions that the one before me made. I decided to come back to West Virginia, and now I'm glad that I did. I found out just how I miss my old home, where I lived when I was a kid. It's not because you're from the north, not because you're city-made. It's not because you don't like me, not the impressions that the ones before me made. I rode up from West Virginia. I was looking for fortune and fame, but the only thing that I found was trouble. Oh, everyone there was the same. Oh, everyone there, they were the same.
Sure is a good one, brother. I can tell you that.
That's an old one, but
What year you right at, you figure?
73, 74.
Not too long after you hired on the railroad, was it?
No, I hired in 72, and of course I was only 2 years old when I hired on the railroad.
What did you retired at, what, 2012 or 13?
10.
2010. Shoot
Yeah,
you.
I retired the same date that I hired on, October the 2nd, 38 years later.
It's a long time. Worked for one company. Something hard to
Yeah.
do with that bunch now. It's
Oh, I'm glad I'm out of there.
yeah, you don't see it hardly much at all no more.
No. Still keep up with some of the guys, but
Yeah, to me, there's, I talk to Harry about every day, and John Brown, I talk to you, and that's the thing. You can, when you work with people, you see them every day, you talk to them all the time, and when you ain't around, ain't working with them anymore and stuff, you hate to feel like sometimes you lose that communication and stuff, but it's just.
But you do.
But you do. Just like high school, anything.
Yeah.
Just how everything is.
Just move on.
Yeah, I think there's so many men I still think about all the time. It tickles me to death. Joey Staggs, I seen him the other day at Walmart, and I always loved Joey to death. And I seen him the other day; it just made my day running into him.
Yeah, I run into him every now and then.
I hated, he talked to me about him having to drive Bluefield and stuff. I hate it for them fellas. I really do. Having to go so far away from home when, they was promised jobs and opportunities and stuff, and you got a family and you're cemented and community, and your kids are involved in sports and school, and you just have to.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I was fortunate. I was never laid off. I worked in the office, and I was fortunate to keep a job that long.
But just like I hired on the railroad in 06, and when I hired, there's probably still 10 or 12 clerks left. All crew haulers around the clock. You had janitors. You had, when I hired Joe Lee, we had the chief clerk job,
right.
And there's clerks in the storehouse and all that. And I guess that's probably where you was at when I first hired.
Yeah. I worked down there quite a bit.
I just hate it. Brother, what are you thinking on next week?
I've got one that it's a Cowboy song. We were on a trip out in Utah, and it's hard to go to those places and not be inspired, and just thought about the old cowboys and all that stuff. And I was thinking, if I was back in those days, what position would I have? And I've always thought I would be the sidekick and the cook and the sidekick.
Well, that's a good thing back then. If you could cook good, they probably have a reason to keep you around.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be much of a gunslinger. I probably wouldn't last very long.
I've never thought about what I would have been back then, but you've given me something to ponder on here in a little while.
Gambler?
Maybe. Gambling with my life.
But, a couple weeks ago, I was down here, and Coulter Wall was performing, and that was fantastic to sit that close and watch him. And I played this song for him, and he stood and listened and watched every move I made on that song, and kind of got nervous at first, but then like I said, the song took over. And
I took a picture of him when he was watching you, and I need to send it to you, but you could tell he was just. He didn't take his eyes off what you was doing.
No. Riding on this desert land, these unforgiving plains, red rocks on my left and right. No one knows my name. No one knows my name. We wagoned out to Utah some 20 years ago, when I was a lad of 10. Hardships we bestowed, hardships we bestowed. I'm a ride-along cowboy, cantankerous and mean, but I have a gentle side that few have ever seen. You have ever seen. My sister died of fever, my brother disappeared. We blamed it on the Paiutes, the ones that we fear, those Indians that we fear. We settled in the waterfold, a necessity of life, but water was scarce and game was few. Ain't no paradise, this ain't no paradise. I'm a ride-along cowboy, cantankerous and mean, but I have a gentle side that few have ever seen. Few have ever seen. My father wanted to head back east. It wasn't in the cards. My mother died giving birth. Life was very hard. Life was very hard. Now I ride all alone. Heartache killed my dad. I wanted to be a good man, but it pays more to be bad. Pays more to be bad. My horse and saddle are my friends, the only thing that's real. Play my French harp by the fire in a cave up on the hill, hiding out in the hills. I'm a ride-along cowboy, cantankerous and mean, but I have a gentle side that few have ever seen. No one's ever seen.
If you happen to be listening there, old brother Coder Wall, that one right there's for you. And while it's on my mind, I think it's still my most downloaded episode I ever done, episode 200 of the Old Soul Radio Show that Glenn and Coder done a show together. Got to play a few songs together and stuff, and you can find it over at wbwalker.com or on the podcast app or iTunes. It's w.b.walker's Old Soul Radio Show, episode 200. And that's one that episode, I know we've talked about it before. It's one that's special to me, and I know it's sure special to you.
Oh, man.
One of my favorite things that I remember you said when Coder was here, Coder said, that he appreciated playing with you, and you said, I guarantee you don't appreciate it as much as I do.
Got that right. I remember that.
Well, that's the crazy thing about it, that I'll try not to talk so long and get and run us over and stuff, but, when I first started doing my radio show and you had given me that music and stuff, I didn't know what it would turn into. You didn't know what it would turn into.
No.
But for both of us, we've got to do experience some pretty cool things and do some pretty cool things. And like I said, I'm glad that you've been along with me with this ride. I can't think of nobody else that'd like to be here with me. So I've had a good time with it.
I'm a music fan. There's a lot of performers that's really not a fan of music, and I've always been from a small kid. I remember my sisters would play their 45s, and that was back in the 50s, and they were older than Bobby Sockers, and they listened to La Bamba and all that stuff. That was my first taste of music, and then the Beatles came, and that was when I decided on my own what I wanted to listen to.
Yeah.
But I'm a big baseball fan too, and I've followed it forever, and still do at a certain point.
That's me when I was up in Binghamton, New York, working. One thing that I wanted to do while I was up around New York, and I wasn't worried about seeing. I mean, it's nice seeing the history and stuff, but I really wasn't drawn to the Statue of Liberty, and I wasn't drawn to this and that. I wanted to go to Yankee Stadium, and I went to Yankee Stadium, 3 or 4 rows up behind the Yankees dugout, and watched the Yankees and the Red Sox play, and that was pretty special.
Yeah,
that was pretty neat.
I've been there, and I've been to Shea Stadium too.
Yeah, I would love to have been able to went to the old Yankee Stadium before they tore it down and stuff. But still, I mean, the way they have it built and stuff, you can tell the history and stuff still there.
My dad in 1963 took me on the passenger train. We loaded up about 1 a.m. in the morning in Williamson, rode to Powhatan Arrow to Cincinnati. We got there about 9 in the morning. We went to the zoo, Cincinnati Zoo, and all this walking. And I don't know the distance, but it was pretty far. And then we went to a double header in Old Crosley Field, and Pete Rose was a rookie that year in '63, and got to see Hank Aaron, Frank Robinson, a lot of Warren Spahn, a lot of people, and I don't even remember the ride back. I think I died.
You tuckered out.
Just
I know that Dwayne Moon was telling me that when he was growing up, that Pete Rose was just like his hero. Quite naturally, people, Eastern Kentucky and stuff, the Cincinnati Reds is everybody's team and stuff. And he said that when he was younger, that he got to go somewhere and meet Pete Rose, and he had this baseball, and he said, "Mr. Rose, will you sign this baseball?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Can you sign it to your biggest fan, Dwayne?" So he said, "Yeah, I can do that for you." So he signed this baseball and give it back to him. And he put on there, "To my biggest fan, Drain." Like a drain pipe. That's what he put.
Drain.
he said, "I still got it to this day."
Oh, yeah. Well, this song come out of the 50s era. There was a pitcher by the name of Herb Score, and he was injured in a game and really never was the same after that. Pitched for Cleveland. Won't tell too much, I'll tell the song. A two-time All-Star from Rosedale, New York. He threw the fastest baseball that one couldn't cork. Future Hall of Famer, he was Rookie of the Year. Every time Herb would pitch, the Indian fans would cheer. In 1957, on the 7th day of May, Yankees and the Indians, they took the field to play. Herb Score was pitching against his hometown team. All was fine in Cleveland town, or so it would seem. Oh, Herb, do you know the score? Can you tell me what day that it is? You saw stars on the Erie shore. Can you tell me the score? Shortstop Gil McDougal stepped up to the plate. His Louisville slugger knew not of its fate. Off of Gil's timber came a mighty line drive. Hit Herb in the face, he was barely alive. Municipal Stadium was quiet as a mouse. PA announcer said, "Is there a doctor in the house?" You could hear a pin drop as tragedy neared. When Herb raised his head, the crowd stood up and cheered. Oh, Herb, do you know the score? Can you tell me what day that it is? You saw stars on the Erie shore. Can you tell me the score?
like it. I like it. Brother, I think for this thing we'll only film for 30 minutes at a time. I've been talking and talking and talking. You want to jump in on another one real quick? Try to pop it in here before we take a little break.
How about a beer drinking song?
Sounds good to me.
I'm skipping around on this.
That's fine, brother.
I make a song list to deviate from.
That's just something to go by a little bit.
Yeah. A crutch.
That's it.
I wrote this several years back, and back in West Virginia, we had 3.2 beer at one point. And again, I'm not going to tell the story because it's the song. Every time I hear of someone going out of town, I'd give them some money to make a little beer run. We get watered down beer in West Virginia and it stinks. We get more potent stuff running out of our sinks. Now over in Kentucky, just across the river, it's drier than the bark of a fallen dead tree. We'll just have to be satisfied and drink a little deeper. But I just don't understand why the 6-point beer was cheaper. We just got back from out of town, the crowd met us with a cheer. I popped off the top of my high-powered beer. I kicked my feet back and I winked at my girl. 6% heaven in a 3.2 world. It's a long way to pound. It's a long way to South Point just to get a good beer. Just to get a good beer. Well, I don't know who made up this rule. Probably some ignoramus. But one thing's for certain, this 3.2 beer just ain't the same beer that made Milwaukee famous. We just got back from out of town, the crowd met us with a cheer. I popped off the top of my high-powered beer. I kicked my feet back and I winked at my girl. 6% heaven in a 3.2 world. Now here in my lazy boy, I am reclined, flipping beer lids and watching TV. I'm making new plans to buy the next round. Maybe to Hayside or maybe back to Pound. We just got back from out of town, the crowd met us with a cheer. I popped off the top of my high-powered beer. I kicked my feet back and I winked at my girl. 6% heaven in a 3.2 world. And it's hats off to the beer drinkers, eye blinkers, and dirty thinkers. Been drinking them beers till they run out my ears. Hats off to the people that should own Milwaukee.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Talking about, different West Virginia having that law at some point. Where I've worked on the railroad in all these different states, I've seen all these different laws and stuff. Like when I was working out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, if you bought beer at a gas station, you couldn't buy cold beer. They would have like, and I don't know if it's just a Fort Wayne thing, like their county,
Right.
or what, or if it's the whole state of Indiana. I mean, so don't think I'm saying this about your whole state because I don't know. But I remember going in gas stations, and they would have like down every aisle, candy aisles, toilet paper aisle, whatever, motor oil aisle. They would have cases of beer. You know, the cardboard boxes of beer would come in down every aisle, and you'd go in and pick out what you want. And
Hotter than pee-pee.
Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't get cold beer. So I don't know if it's just only thing I could think of, maybe it's trying to dissuade somebody from drinking and driving it with hot beer. But I've sat and thought, you know, I've had plenty of times that I've got drunk as a skunk and drunk warm beer. So I don't know if really that's going to help a whole lot. But
They drink it in Germany.
yeah, that's it. I've always thought about all these old cowboys back in the day. I'm sure their beer wasn't all that cold, you know. So I never understood that law.
Yeah.
But friends, we're going to take us a little break here for a minute. I'm going to get up and stretch my legs and all that fine stuff there. But we'll be back with you here on the Old Soul Video Show just here shortly. Good deal. Well, friends, welcome back here to the Old Soul Video Show. Hope you've liked what you've heard so far. I know I've had a blast listening. I've heard so much stuff in the past from Glen, but he's played a couple for me here that I've never heard before. I've had a ball this season, and we've been going at it. I guess you come over as we record this now. It's about 11:30. Glen come over about 6 or so. Logan Halstead come over, and Harry Deskins. We sat around and had a good little time. And sat around listening to some songs on the old jukebox here, and just made a big time of it. What do you think about starting out with us there first, there, Brother Glen?
I think I'm going to do one that I wrote in Nashville. I was down there for Americana conference. That's a great thing. Got to see a lot of acts, and but I went down to the park during the day, and there was music around, and there was a lot of homeless folk hanging around, and they were feeding. They had the soup line, and I talked to a couple of them just in passing, and I got the idea for this song, and I couldn't get back to the hotel room quick enough to start writing, and this is the results. It was on my latest CD called 13 Stories High.
While we're talking about that, if folks want to pick it up, where is it available at?
It's on CD Baby and Bandcamp, and the streaming is out there everywhere.
You know off the top of your head what your Bandcamp website is?
No, I sure don't.
Well, we'll get it, and I'll put it in the description here of the video. You can go to it, but I know your website's glen-simpson.com, so you can find out more about Glen there, and he's on Facebook and all that good stuff. If you can't find him, you can kind of search. If you're friends with me on Facebook, or find me on Facebook, search my mutual friends, and you can find old Brother Glen here. He's a good one to have on there. He's all the time posting some good stuff about music and stuff, so make sure you look him up.
Standing on a crowded street, singing for a dime. People walking quickly by, no one will share their time. Afraid to look me in the eye, they fear I am contagious. To live on these dirty streets, you have to be courageous. I had a home, wife and kids, a job that kept us stable. I worked hard every day to put food upon the table. Now all I have is a garbage bag and a beat feet up, sleep and roll. I sing my song over and over. God save my soul. Where are you gonna sleep tonight? Oh, when the sun starts sinking low, that's what my friends all ask. Where are you gonna sleep tonight? In some abandoned building or under the stars. It's hard to think of what went wrong, the drugs or the liquor. I lost everything I had and I was getting sicker. My body's filled with cheap wine, the illusions in my head. I would leave only if I could. One day they'll find me dead. Where are you gonna sleep tonight? Oh, when the sun starts sinking low, that's what my friends all ask. Where are you gonna sleep tonight? In some abandoned building or under the stars. In some abandoned building or under the stars.
I've heard that one a few times, and it always hits me. It always gets me.
Yeah, I like that one. It's one of my favorites.
Something I've tried to beat in the heads of my kids is how blessed they are with the food and just the opportunities and stuff they have. Because that's one thing I can't stand to think about, children being hungry and stuff. Just people in general being hungry. It absolutely just breaks my soul type deal. And I told Fallon a while back, I said, I'm hoping one of these days to get in a situation where I can, do more for my community and stuff like that because there is so many children and stuff around here that you can go pick your kids up at school and things like that and just see some of their clothes and their shoes and things like that. And that's one thing it scared me to death when all this coronavirus stuff happened, thinking these kids go to school and they at least get 2 meals a day. And, they did the stuff about handing out food and stuff like that, but it's still, I wondered, in some situations how many of the parents were eating stuff and just not really caring about their kids and stuff.
Right.
And it just scares me to death.
I don't understand that at all. I have one child, and of course she's not a child anymore, but she still is. She's my baby girl. I don't care how old she is.
And that's something me and Fallon, we talk about, that no matter how big they get, they'll always be your babies. And I appreciate you writing that one and bringing, a notice to, like I said, if you're doing good in your life and things like that, and the Lord's blessed you and you have means and stuff, something we try to do when we can is your local food banks or anything like that, just try to help out, because most of these places are non-profit, and what they get is from donations and stuff. So if you can help at all, lend a hand, buy some socks, some body wash, soap, anything. I mean, that's stuff that they really need: food and socks and soap and toothbrushes and stuff like that. I've always heard that's the things they request the most. So if you can help your local community out, lend a hand, just do it if you can, because a lot of us are blessed and things like that. So just if you can help out a little bit. But what are you thinking on next, sir?
I'm gonna try Fresh Dirt on the Hillside. I was riding in the car and just looking around. I was on the Mountain Parkway, and this site come up, and I wasn't driving, I was riding that time, so I was able to jot down some notes as I was going and turned it into a song. I'm more of a song maker upper than a writer.
Well, if what you call it, if making up, if a song maker upper is what you call it, you're a hell of a song maker upper. I'll tell you that, man.
Appreciate that. I was on the Mountain Parkway, MMT on the radio, single wides and double wides, flying right on by. I wondered about the people that lives in these houses, all the stories they can tell, both truth and lies. Out of the corner of my eye, just below the ridgeline, was a family cemetery to lay their loved one down. A white picket fence surrounded the graveyard. Saw a new dug grave, my heart began to pound. Fresh dirt on the hillside means somebody died. The families in mourning, they laughed and they cried, thinking of the sorrow and the pain they've been through. Fresh dirt on the hillside, it could be me or you. Who attended the funeral, a few wore light. I know there was preaching for half of the day. Fresh dirt on the hillside means somebody died. The families in mourning, they laughed and they cried, thinking of the sorrow and the pain they've been through. Fresh dirt on the hillside, it could be me or you.
Me and Fallon, we was going to Logan the other day, which, especially since I've had my seizure and stuff, I don't think it's the best idea me driving until we figure out what's going on with me. But we was going, and I've been over Dingess Mountain probably 10,000 times, in my life. And we was going over Dingess Mountain, and I just happened, as we on the top of the mountain, there's this big wide spot, and there's a house that's over there. And as soon as we started over the other side of the mountain, I looked out my window, and I seen these crosses, just barely over the guardrail. The hillside's straight up and down. And as we coming around the curve, I kind of turned back the best I could because I can't turn my neck real good. But I was trying to turn my body and look back, and there was all kinds of crosses on this hill. I guess it's an old graveyard. And I thought, why, or how would you even get up there to do that? That's what I was thinking about, and it's puzzled me. I'm like, I don't know how somebody would bury somebody
And
up
you
there.
never noticed it either.
No, never noticed it. And that's another thing, like we've been on the railroad going up and down the river. You get up, I remember up around, I think it was around Ot 1, up around Beach Creek, Devon area. There was a big curve there, Devon, or I guess the curve there at Devon, and or at Ot 1. And there's a big pasture over to the left of you. And I remember seeing all these graves on the side of that hill, and I'm sitting thinking, there's this whole pasture down here. Why would they bury these people up on the side of this hill? but still, from time to time you'd go by there and you'd see the tents and stuff up from funeral homes or whatever.
Yep.
And I thought, man, I always wondered how they did it, but it just always puzzled me why they'd want to bury somebody right on the side of this hill.
Because they owned the property, and
I'd say you're right. They probably had to make do with
I
what
have
they had.
two right around my house. I have one right behind my house, which I don't own. It's kind of a community property.
Yeah.
When they did the deed, we had that blocked out. I said I don't want it.
Yeah.
But I do maintain it. But
that was one thing I was thinking about too. Seeing these graves over this hill and stuff. I thought, I wonder how many, if these people buried there are folks that anybody even remembers anymore, type deal. Things like that. And it looked like somebody had been. Well, this time of year, grass ain't got up much yet and stuff, but I kind of wondered that. I thought, I hope somebody at least maintains it, because I've never seen it before, so I'm imagining it might get grown up. I don't know.
right.
But talking about them funeral home tents up around War Eagle. I remember there's this trailer up there by the signal at War Eagle, and you could tell these people's pretty wild. I actually was walking a train one time. I won't tell the story, but I was walking a train one time, and I'll just say they're pretty wild. But I went by there one time in the summer, and they had them a grill out, and had them like one of them blow-up swimming pools. And they had one of them funeral home tents they used to grill out under. And I thought, I wonder where they've got that from,
Left over from somewhere.
I've got it from somewhere, seen it setting up, and grabbed it, put it on the four-wheeler.
Well, this song I've never played before. Anywhere, no. I played it at home, of course, but I don't even know where the idea came or nothing about it. But I just started writing stories. I like to write stories. Claire wakes up in the morning, gets the kids off to school, sits down at the table, feeling like a fool. Delbert, he's out somewhere, forgot to come home. She's over being lonely, she's angry to the bone. They were first cousins, dated in their teens. Dale became impatient to get into her jeans. Claire was expecting before the senior dance. From children to parents, they never had a chance. Claire wants a brand new life. They're wrong for each other. They married in spite of what their family told them. They ruined their life, an unguided love affair. Delbert's in Columbus, he's looking for a job. Claire's been seeing a new man, her second cousin Bob. Some don't learn their lessons and some never will. Look, blood's thicker than water, that's part of the appeal. Claire wants a brand new life. They're wrong for each other. They married in spite of what their family told them. They ruined their life, an unguided love affair. Claire wakes up in the morning, gives the kids off to school, sits down at the table, feeling like a fool. Bob is out somewhere, forgot to come home. She's over being lonely, she's angry to the bone.
It kind of reminds me a little bit. It had me thinking about that old Chris Knight song, Enough Rope. There's a line in there. She told me she was pregnant on the day I turned 18, and I done what I was supposed to do. I bought her a ring, because it's just what you're supposed to do. That
Yep.
kind of reminded me of that. Well, I appreciate you playing that one. How's my old jukebox treating you over there?
Oh, good. got the most of the lights back on. I left the two bottom. One didn't work, and I haven't been back in it to check it. But I looked inside, and I'm not getting any power. There's a transformer loose in the bottom that I just picked up, and there's some wires loose. So I need to get somebody that really knows how to hook it up. And I think I have everything, but that transformer's not hooked up.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you can get it back to where it plays again and stuff. Cause I bought it on eBay off this old lady, and bless her heart, she really done a great job packaging and stuff. Cause it was one of them. I wore myself out trying to open it up and stuff, but we finally got it opened up and went to play it, and it just wouldn't. The lights would come on, but it wouldn't play music. So I contacted her and I let her know that it didn't work, and she was freaking out about it. She said, "Well, I'll refund you." I said, "No." I said, "It looks good." I said, "I don't, I'm too happy with it." I said, "I ain't worried about that. I'm just letting you know that maybe or just kind of just letting you know that it wasn't that it got damaged or whatever when it was shipped." But it's been in here for, I guess, almost 6 years. So I'm glad that since I'll
get it working.
I'm looking forward to you sending me a video with it working, because I've never seen it fully functional. So I figure if anybody could get it fired back up, it'd be you.
Got time for another one?
Yeah, I believe we're good for one more.
Speaking of railroad and the Powhatan Arrow, I think it's Powhatan Arrow time, don't you?
It sounds good to me, brother.
And the time is, 22:50. Now sitting in an office chair, smelling stuffy office air, memories flow through my brain like the Powhatan Arrow. Passenger trains are dead again, the second time since that old wind. Hilltopper don't run no more, and the buses too have died. File cabinets lined against the wall, I'm waiting for a business call. No way to get in or out unless you have a car. The windows filled with railroad dirt, I'm trying my best to stay alert. Amtrak has taken a dive like the Powhatan Arrow. The maroon, streamlined Powhatan Arrow. She flew down the track like a pretty sparrow. They just don't make trains like that no more. My desk is filled with yesterday's papers, nostrils filled with cigarette vapors, people stuffed into the car, up Maroon Street by Express. Oh, the gray smoke goes flowing by, you can hear the steel wheels cry. Fill the night with many a sound that reminds us of the past. The maroon, streamlined Powhatan Arrow. Flew down the track like a pretty sparrow. Just don't make trains like that no more. Now sitting in an office chair, smelling stuffy office air, memories flow through my brain like the Powhatan Arrow, like the Powhatan Arrow, like the Powhatan Arrow. Woo, woo.
I always enjoyed seeing I guess some of the passenger cars now from the Powhatan Arrow. That's what the corporate training or whatever.
Yeah.
and I always enjoyed kind of getting to see it. I remember when I was up in New York working, I was sitting in a siding up somewhere in Pennsylvania, and they told us, you're gonna be sitting a while, you're waiting on there's some passenger or some steam train that come by, and that just I was in this big straight stretch, but you could see it forever, it coming, and that just put a big smile on my face getting to see that, because that's something I've only seen twice, I guess.
It was down here in the '90s, and Aaron Newton was the general foreman in the shop, and he took me on board, and we got to go into the executive suite, and that was something.
Well,
they had it fixed up.
I guarantee you. The thing that got me, I'm sitting in this siding, and not a thing in the world to do. This was after you didn't have to watch. When I first hired, you had to get it down and watch trains by. But a few years after I hired, they got rid of that. And then they went back to it, and they got rid of it again. But anyway, when that train went by me in New York, that was when you didn't have to get down and watch trains by. So I'm just sitting up in the window watching, and all these bosses and shit has their head poked out the window, hoping to God they can see us doing something wrong when they go by. I thought them dirty sons of guns trying to, here I am just enjoying this old steam train going by, and here they are trying to find something I'm doing wrong.
Doing what you're told.
But when James Reed played, you was here once.
Yeah.
And he done that Hobo Stove song.
That was good.
And I had never heard of the dude, and I got on YouTube and started watching his videos and stuff, and it was hard for me. Like, I enjoyed watching this guy's videos. They were, rest his soul, he's passed away now, but he would pretty much just hop trains and film himself, and the way he would put them together, though, you felt like you was kind of going on a trip with him, and he would get on these DP trains out west and on these unoccupied engines and ride them and stuff, and that's how he ended up getting killed. I think he was up in Maryland or something back in 2017, and I think an Amtrak train went by and caught his backpack. And I'm sure it wasn't a good way to go, but
no, quick though.
Yeah, but I watched. I had a hard time though watching some of his videos, and it wasn't just because it kind of as a train conductor and stuff, seeing people in dangerous situations, it kind of make you kind of scared for them or whatever. But where I haven't, it's been almost 2 years. Well, about a year and 8 months since I've worked, for the railroad and stuff, and ain't looking real great for me getting to go back and things like that.
Yeah.
So watching some of that stuff was kind of hard for me to watch, but I enjoyed watching the videos, but I'd watch a little bit of them and I'd have to turn it off.
Right.
Because it just was kind of tough to see some of that.
But you do have time to do what you love too.
Yeah, I'm blessed with being able to take advantage of the time I have, type deal, to get to do this stuff. So I wouldn't trade it back. You know what I mean?
Right.
But sometimes I've told people, I said, railroad, it ain't just a job, it's a way of life, and I think once you kind of do it long enough, it kind of almost gets in your blood, type deal, a little bit. And like me, I was talking to Drayton Farley a little bit about it, because he worked as a contractor for NS with installing like on a tie game.
Right.
And he said I never really thought much about it. He said, but there's a sense of pride being able to say you work for the railroad. And
well, I'm a fourth generation railroader. My father was a conductor in Williamson Yard. His father was a conductor in Williamson Yard. He hired in 1913. My father hired in 40 or 41, and I hired in 72. And my great-grandfather worked for the B&O out of Huntington on the tracks, and he had to hire in 1880s or 90s.
He probably helped put a lot of them lines down initially and stuff.
So and plus our house growing up overlooked the train yard.
Mm-hmm. I'll show you. I'll show you here in a little bit, but that old wash tub I got outside.
Mm-hmm.
In that wash tub, there's a couple spikes, because the main line used to run up here behind my house. And my neighbor was having some underpinning put up on her double wide, and she had somebody come put it up. And I guess while they was underneath of it, maybe digging out a little bit to put that tent and underpinning up, they found some spikes, and she gave them to me. And
it had the dates on them, date spikes.
They ain't date nails, so just regular spikes, which it may have some type of date on it. I don't know. There's some muddy and stuff. I'm gonna have to try to to probably soak them a little bit or something. But friends, we're going to take us a little break here for a few minutes, and we'll come back and Glenn will play us 4 more. But I hope you all have enjoyed what you've heard so far, and like I said, I'll be back with you here just in a few minutes. But she give me. Well, hell, friends, welcome back here to the Old Soul Video Show. Old brother Glenn's been gracious enough to stick around a little bit longer for us. Going to play us 4 more before we pack on up, and I don't know if we'll mosey on, but we'll probably go listen to a little Utah Phillips or something like that, I imagine. I got a stack of records I got piled up here that need to get listened to, and I believe
I can do that.
Me and Glenn can handle that. But what are you feeling like playing there first?
I'm going to do one that I wrote about my father. He was a railroader, but he enjoyed taking photos and pictures, and a gardener and farmer and a little bit of everything. But I have this photo that he had taken, had his hand out and had the camera like this, and there was a sparrow on his hand eating food out of his hand. That is amazing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, all I can do is run them off.
Yeah, that's all I'm good at.
And it takes patience and love to get almost any animal to do
Takes a lot of
do
trust,
that.
yeah.
And so I come up with this song called Sparrow.
I give Fallon, not to interrupt you, but I give Fallon a hard time because of all our animals. They all love me. The dogs, cats, I don't care what it is, they're all my animals. And I told her, I said, animals, they can really tell a lot about people. That's why they like me so much, because they know how special I am. She's like, shut up, you know.
Well, my dog, I'm around it more. Wife still works, and I'm around it all the time. So she said, he likes you better than he does me. I said, that's because I'm around him.
Well, that's what I tell him too. But we're getting ready to get that little wiener dog here in a couple of weeks, and my 10-year-old was the one that wanted it, and he don't ask for nothing. And we told him he could have it, and he said, and Fallon was talking to me about it, and he said, "You excited about your?" She asked him, said, "Are you excited about your dog?" Said, "Yeah, I'm excited about it, but I know it's going to love Dad more than anybody." That's what he said.
Sorry. Old sparrow, old sparrow, been out on the wire too long. Sparrow, old sparrow, I decided to write you a song. You're a bird all seasons, you're a bird of song. I'll listen to your melody while the night lingers on. Sounds so sweet as it pleases my ear. Sparrow, feed your children when you can. Build your nest in the tallest trees. And keep on singing your sad songs for me. Sparrow, oh sparrow, you've been out on the wire too long. Sparrow, oh sparrow, I decided to write you a song. feed you in the dead of winter. Oh, when the ground was frozen with snow, take the seed to your home for your babes. Sparrow, feed your children now that you can. Take the seed out of his hand and keep on singing your sweet songs for him. Sparrow, oh sparrow, you've been out on the wire too long. Sparrow, oh sparrow, I decided to write you a song. Oh, I decided to write you a song.
If you think about it, whenever, just send me if you have it scanned or if you can take a picture of the pictures. I like to see that. I don't know if I've seen you post that picture. I'd like to see
No,
that.
I haven't. And yeah, I've got it framed.
That'd be a good one to have.
You know, it's something, and we just lean back. You can tell it. Lean back, and it was.
It's a special person right there to get a bird to trust you to do that.
Yep.
Says a lot about your daddy.
All right, you ready to take a little trip down Route 52 near Borderland, West Virginia, to a little place we used to go to called the Red Robin Inn.
Down there at Charlie's place, then.
Charlie Blevins and the Red Robin. I like to go there on weekdays because there wasn't any trouble on weekdays, and Charlie would get his banjo out and play some with you. Now on the weekends you really didn't want to go, and he spent his time watching what was going on at the bar because he had a few fights and.
Was that the place like Ric Flair got in or one of them wrestlers got in?
Not Ric Flair. It was I can't think of his name. Sort of had a crew cut, and I can't remember his name. But somebody threatened to whip him, and he just body slammed him on the gravel and just turned and walked off. I can't think of who that was.
I've tried to think, while I've been looking down here at your list and stuff, I've heard all these stories about the Red Robin over the years and stuff, but that was the only one I could think of. Was I remember there was a wrestler that got into something there.
Yeah, and Charlie would man the gate the door when you first walked in, and he would ask you if you had a gun, and if you didn't have one, he'd give you one. That's how.
Like a Wild West.
It was. But good man. I wouldn't mess with him. He was U.S. Alabama in the Navy. And some guy. But I wrote this song when they first started talking about the road was going to take it. And it took a while for it to actually happen. You know, they like to talk about things for a few years before politicians move. Well, I like to hear old Charlie sing and hammer out the old 5-string. Place to lose your trouble for just a little while. Down in southern West Virginia, across the road from Tug River. Soon it's gonna bow out to a 4-lane road. A good place to get drunk up at or listen to Charlie's stories. See if he has anything new hanging on his wall. He has instruments from days gone by, license plates to put on your car. place if you're lonesome or just looking for a friend. Now he'd play the banjo, someone else would play the guitar. Anyone that felt like getting caught up in a song. Everyone would listen hard, everyone would sing along with Charlie at the Red Robin Inn. Mingo County, his story, and he knows what happened long ago. He can tell you tales that'll make the hair stand up on your head. Keeps the jukebox filled with his favorite tunes, old Rattler, no Mountain Dew, and go to Charlie's and have a few at the Red Robin Inn. Now he'd play the banjo, someone else would pick guitar. Anyone that felt like getting caught up in a song. Everyone would listen hard, everyone would sing along with Charlie at the Red Robin Inn. Hardly ever any trouble there, old Charlie, he'd take care of that. Standing with his big arms crossed, gaining everyone's respect. He had a Sherlock pipe hanging from his jaw, representing his own law, and we're gonna miss him at the Red Robin Inn. Now he'd play the banjo, someone else would play the guitar. Anyone that felt like getting caught up in a song. Everyone would listen hard, everyone would sing along with Charlie at the Red Robin Inn. When the red robin goes bobbing along, it'll be gone. That old road's gonna take it, but its memories will still linger on. Almost heaven. If you're looking for a friend, say Charlie at the Red Robin Inn.
I always love when you play that one, and it's funny because I remember the first time you played it for me. I think it's when we done that podcast, and I can't remember what episode it is.
196.
Well, Glenn knows. 196. So check out episode 196. Glenn plays the music then. He plays that one. But I remember the first time I heard you do Red Robin Inn, I was thinking about kind of the similarities of where he's from Mingo County, I'm from Mingo County. And, you know, he had people come play music, and I have people come play music. And he had the license plates, and I got license plates, and I'm all the time hanging shit up here on the walls. But something that just resonated with me is when the first time you played it, I didn't have a jukebox full of my favorite songs.
No,
now I do.
Now
so
you do.
I'm trying my best to keep the legacy of the old Red Robin Inn going. And I shouldn't have to worry, Glenn, about nobody progress road taken through in Dingess and knocking nothing out.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I should be okay. But one good thing is this place is on sled, so if it has to be moved, I guess I can move it somewhere. But I always give Glenn a hard time. You know, he's a big fan of baseball and sports and stuff. I give Glenn a hard time all the time. I tell him that if something ever happens to him, to remember me and his wheel, he's got a Michael Jordan rookie card. So I'm going to add to my list the Red Robin Inn hat that you told me you've had for 30 years. You think of me on that one,
It's
too.
sitting on my new jukebox now.
Good deal. Good deal.
I have a couple more
What are you thinking
if you
of?
have time for it.
We got time.
Well, one's called For Greener Pastures. I guess it was about as much of a protest song as I've ever written. Not real strong, but gets a point across. And This one, I had it on the Sycamore album, and it was selected to be on a CD called Moving Mountains that was put out out in Virginia. That song was selected to be part of that CD, and I was honored to have that. And
It's something pretty cool to be a part of. A compilation like that.
yep, I have a copy of it. So. The trains are rolling by and I can feel the ground rumbling beneath my feet as I am leaving my old home. I'm glad to say that I won't miss the railroad yards or coal mines that blacken up this place I once belonged. I know the country needs the coal that comes out of the mountains, but they could at least repair what they've torn down. Instead they strip the coal and leave the land all bare and ragged, till there's not a sign of life that can be found. I'm looking for a place where it's clean and hardly dirty, a place where I can breathe some clean, fresh air. I love the mountains of my home, but they've been mistreated badly. I wish that more people would care. The trains are rolling by and sleep is almost hopeless when your house is right beside a railroad track. I'm gonna find me a little farm somewhere out in the country, and when I do I won't be coming back. I'm looking for a place where it's clean and hardly dirty, a place where I can breathe some clean, fresh air. I love the mountains of my home, it's been mistreated badly. I wish that more people would care. The trains are rolling by and I can feel the ground rumbling.
I can feel that one. That's one thing, I've had so many people in my family. I mean, I made a living for 15 years almost hauling coal, and I've had so many people in my family that have made a living mining coal and stuff like that. But I never really thought much about it until I had watched some documentary, and they was talking about mountaintop removal and stuff, and there was this old man on there, and he said I really didn't care much about it, or he said I didn't really put much thought into it until the mountain behind me was the one that they was removing the top from. And I think that made me really.
Until it affects you.
Yeah, and it's sad. That's kind of the world we kind of live in. A lot of folks, things don't bother them until it kind of reaches that point. But it made me think, how would I feel if this mountain there in front of me or behind me that protects us, from tornadoes and all that stuff. You never hear nothing like that around here, hardly.
No, these mountains block it off.
Yeah, they block it off for us, and it made me think, how would I feel if somebody was tearing one of these mountains? It's one of them things, with this area, there ain't a whole lot of work. We live in a poor part of the country, and things, and coal has done a lot and stuff, but at the same time, I see a lot of pictures and stuff of, what gets me is these mines will spend money, or they'll make all these millions and millions and millions of dollars tearing everything down, then when they get the coal out they want, they file bankruptcy and they don't have to fix it.
They don't want to put it back.
Yeah, that's what gets me.
And we haven't done anything with that land very much. There's a lot of flat land up there that no industry or anything's going to build on it.
No, they ain't gonna touch it.
It's unstable.
They can't do nothing with it. Just look at it. It's about all
Yep.
they do. I know you was talking about playing one more before we listen to some records here. What you kind of have in mind for this one?
Well, I think yesterday was April the 4th, and that was the anniversary for the flood of 1977 that I'm sure you've heard a lot about. It was before your time, but you've heard about it.
Yeah.
And that's really what put our town, Williamson, on the downward spiral.
Yeah.
They built the flood wall around it, but it just never picked up.
All
And,
the things that got washed away, they never come back.
Things are changing, and I've been working with a group that's trying to do some good things, and hopefully that'll continue.
Yeah, like I told you, on the music side of things, anything that I can do to help,
Well, we're going to need some
I'll help
all the help we can, and try to expose the community to different kinds of music.
Yeah.
And not just what's on the radio.
That's it. My mom, she grew up on the Kentucky side of Nolan on 292, and I remember them telling me stories that my grandma and grandpa kind of lived up a holler, and everybody across the road from them naturally on the riverside, everybody got washed out.
Right.
And my grandma and grandpa's house, the house my mom lives in now, it's a pretty small place, and I think they said they had like 40 or 50 people staying in this house because it was only that's the only place people could get to.
It was dry.
Yeah, it was the only place that wasn't underwater. And I've seen all these pictures and stuff of of Wimpson, of town, and like I was showing you that postcard I had of the Lock, Stock, and Barrel, and I guarantee it's the kind of place I'd loved to been able to went to.
I'm sure you would.
And
it was.
But after the flood, they never did go back, did they?
They did go back, but it was never the same. And then the original owner sold it, and it continued for a while. But that was the second place I ever played music at. The first place was a little coffee house up on the second floor on 2nd Avenue. I think of the jewelry store, Adkins. I think there was several little clubs in there, but played there, and then the Lock, Stock, and Barrel was the second place I ever played.
If you all pay attention after Glen gets done playing here, the little segments I do that kind of break things up from the music to the outro and stuff, I'm going to put a little video of Glen playing at you said on that tape there's some video of you playing at the Lock, Stock, Barrel, ain't there?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's on the VHS or the CD.
Well, regardless, I'm going to put something of Glen picking somewhere or another on the little video here in a second, so I hope y'all enjoy it. But yeah, I can't wait to hear this one, brother. I've heard so many stories about the flood and stuff. A lot of these records that I have here, I've noticed that I bought a bunch of records that were just the 12-inch records of the covers were gone, and a lot of them on the label it says didn't survive the 77 flood. I bought a bunch off Lacey Muncie's little store.
Yeah,
so that's why I bought them, just because I knew it was something that survived the flood.
I don't need to buy them. I have a few of my own. I threw a lot away too. But this is a sing-along song, so everybody out there in the video world can sing along with it, and keep those cards and letters coming.
Yeah. And I'll try, I don't know if I can or not, but I'll try to put a little bouncing ball in there to Lynn, to try to help everybody out.
Mitch Miller.
That's it.
Oh, the day the water went down, the water went down, the water went down. Oh, the day the water went down, we all danced in the mud. Oh, the water receded and the people gathered round. The mountains let off with the sweetest sound. Counted our losses where the water took its toll. We began to clog to the flood stroll. Oh, the day the water went down, the water went down, the water went down. Oh, the day the water went down. They were people dirty, never been dirty in their lives. Evil common people use the same forks and knives. Hearts flow together. Went into the street and we danced and danced and we stomped our feet. Oh, the day the water went down, the water went down, the water went down. Oh, the day the water went down, we all danced in the mud. Oh, the place looked like it was in a world war. Messing with the bombs and the bloody gore. People walking, watching houses take a dive. We begin to smile knowing that we were alive. Oh, the day the water went down, the water went down, the water went down. Oh, the day the water went down, we all danced in the mud. Flood muds consisted of garbage, dirt, and coal dust. That spread all through our land. How it got into our streams and rivers, you'll just have to blame man. Oh, the day the water went down, the water went down, the water went down. Oh, the day the water went down, we all danced in the mud. Oh, we slopped and slipped and played in the mud and sent our prayers to a man named Hud. Everybody was muddy, every lad and every lass. Everywhere you looked, they was mud up to your ass. Oh, the day the water went down, the water went down, the water went down. Oh, the day the water went down, we all danced in the mud. Oh, the day the water went down, the water went down, the water went down. Oh, the day the water went down, we all danced in the mud. Oh, the day the water went down, the water went down, the water went down. Oh, the day the water went down, we all danced in the mud. Thank you for having me.
Brother, you're welcome. I appreciate, like I said, all you've done for me and allowing me to, because when I had the idea to kind of the idea that I had from the get-go, from how I wanted to do things, ain't changed a whole lot over the years, and it's been how, I just kind of envisioned doing things and it meant the world to me to not only have some like I've always said, some of the finest instrumental music I've ever heard.
Well, I appreciate
it means a lot
that.
to me to also have some instrumental music from somebody that means so much to me, and to be able to have music behind something that I do from Mingo County, West Virginia, here from Dingess, West Virginia, has some instrumental music from a fella from Pike County, Kentucky, because that's, there's a reason I got West Virginia, Kentucky tattooed on my arm, because I've lived on one side of the river pretty much my whole life, and Kentucky and West Virginia means so much to me, so be able to showcase something else locally, it means the world to me.
I've lived on both, so.
That's me. I was thinking the other day, I've almost been here. I'm a few years away, but I've almost been here as long as I haven't been here.
Right.
And that's something that means a lot to me. We moved around a lot growing up and stuff, so just having stability and having somewhere my kids will always be able to come home and feel at home, it means a lot to me. Well, Glenn, I do. I love you to death. I love you to death, and appreciate all you do. And make sure I'll put links in the show notes to Glenn's Bandcamp to pick some of these stuff up. Or if you want CDs, CD Baby, you can pick them up there. And Glen-Simpson.com. Find him on Facebook. Glenn's one hell of a guy, and that means the world to me to have him play some songs for all of us here. I've had a great time. I hope you have too. Like always, I should be back with you next Wednesday, as long as old 12-Pole Creek don't rise too high on me here. And hopefully I won't have to worry about water going down. But y'all take it easy, and you have a good one, and I'll be back with you.
And keep watching.
That's it. Keep it watching. Oh. Heck yeah.
Well. I'm gonna do a song that I've made up here. It's entitled "Changes." It's a nice song. Get some help from everybody. of your soft hand in mine. And we'll talk together while we walk through the hills. You and I are together in another time. Tomorrow I'll love you even more than today, 'cause your love attracts me all the time. And if you leave me, I don't know what I would do. Guess go out of my ever crazy mind. Changes, oh changes, I've been through lots of changes. Changes, oh changes, I'm satisfied with the way my world has turned. I'm satisfied with the way my world has turned. Changes, oh changes, I've been through lots of changes. Changes, oh changes, I'm satisfied with the way my world has turned. I like to feel love, the wind in my face, and the touch of your soft hand in mine. And we'll talk together while we walk through the hills. You and I are together in another time. Changes, oh changes, I've been through lots of changes. Changes, oh changes, I'm satisfied with the way my world has turned. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
That clock's called us in.
Time sure does fly by when you're having fun.
In other words, you mean we've been here about as long as we're welcome?
I reckon it's about time to get our satchels and go, Hank.
That's right.
Well, hell, friends, as long as old 12-Pole Creek don't rise too high on me here, I'll be back with you this upcoming Wednesday for a brand new episode of the Old Soul Video Show. If you like what you've seen this evening and you ain't already done it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Turn them bell notifications on so you know exactly when I upload it, like I said, every Wednesday. If you like the video, give her a like. I love hearing what you think about it, so leave me a comment. If you comment me your name and where you're from, hell, You never know, we might be saluting you next week. But hell, friends, if you ain't familiar with the Old Soul Radio Show, you can listen to my podcast every Friday. You can listen directly over at wbwalker.com. You can listen on your Apple device on the podcast app, or you can listen on your Android device over there on the old Stitcher app. But hell, wbwalker.com/store is where you can go to check out my wares. Patreon.com/Old Soul Radio Show is where you can make a monthly pledge and help out here with the podcast and the video show. Now, with every pledge, you unlock a post that has a link to this old camera up here in the Barn and Grill. Now, it streams 24/7. If you want to be a fly on the wall and check her out, there you go. If you want to see what I'm listening to, come on in and join me. Friends, you can find me on the Facebooks at facebook.com/Old Soul Radio Show. I'm on the Instagrams at Old Soul Radio Show. I'm on the Twitter at Old Soul Radio. Well, friends, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for taking the time out of your busy schedule here once again to join me here in Dingess, West Virginia for another mighty fine broadcast of the Old Soul Video Show. Y'all be good to one another, love one another, take care of one another. And like I said, the good Lord's willing, I'll be back with you next Wednesday for a brand new episode here of the Old Soul Video Show. Oh.